Hey guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Market Mastery. We're going to be taking you through a market update. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin because they had a really big pump this morning and overnight, and the market is looking really prime right now for a potential move higher in altcoins. So we're just going to highlight all the ones we're looking at the moment. I feel like they're just waiting for Bitcoin to slow down and start to go sideways. We had a really big player, market buy 400 BTC this morning on Coinbase. That sort of put the top in for the market for now anyway. And we're moving sideways at the moment. So we're going to take a quick look at that. We're going to look at the big sellers that are absolutely dumping the spot market right now on Bitfinex. And we're going to take a look at some of the signals that we can see that might shift the momentum on not just Bitcoin, but also altcoins and finally give them that space to break out and move to the upside, okay? I'm just going to share my screen here. And we're looking at BTC right now, and this is the Coinbase chart. So basically this candle here, we had a really big blow off top. If we go down to the 5-minute chart, you'll see right here on this 5-minute candle, there was a huge market buy on Coinbase. And basically that person back here, you can see, I was trying to make that larger, but this doesn't grow when you move it like that. But this big candle here on the histogram bar to the upside, that represents market buys on Coinbase. And so we can see the huge amount of market buys in this one 5-minute candle. So basically somebody had about $18 million and they market bought Bitcoin, and that put that top in there. And since then, the market has been trending down, right? And, you know, usually something like that happens. If somebody silly comes in and market buys it at the top here, now they're trapped above here. And basically, you know, other whales might try and squeeze that person out of position by making the market sell off or something like that and trying to convince him to sell. But, you know, we'll see what ends up and how it ends up playing out anyway. But more importantly, you can see as soon as that sell went in, and we also had a bit of a divergence here in the spot market with the spot CBD making a lower high and the market making a higher high here as well. And that sort of put the top in the momentum for now anyway. And you can see here on this blue line, which is the representation of our spot market buys versus market sells. That's called cumulative volume delta, CVD. That has been trending down really, really aggressively, right? For example, we're back below the level that we were when price was still at 42K, and, you know, we're still pretty much at 44, right? So there's been a lot of spot selling, and most of it has actually come from Bitfinex. So there was a really big seller on Bitfinex that started kicking in this first little dip, and then we had a big buyer on Coinbase, and that sort of pushed us up. And, you know, there was a nice little bit of buying across the board in this rally here. But since then, the spot market has sold off very, very aggressively. So now what I'm sort of waiting for, and this usually happens recently a lot in Asia, there has been a lot of selling. So we have a really big push into the close of the day and end of New York session, which is what we're seeing here once again. And then there's a lot of selling in the Asia session. And then, you know, we start to pick up back again, you know, sometime a little bit later in the day in the London session, and then into New York again, it starts to pick up in the middle of the night for us Aussies. So realistically just waiting for this Bitfinex seller, whoever it is, or maybe it's a group of sellers, to run out. BitMEX is shorting, so this is all perps on BitMEX. They're shorting like crazy right now, and Bybit is, you know, fairly neutral, to be honest. Coinbase has been pretty flat with not much action happening overnight, to be honest, and so has Binance. There hasn't really been a lot to look at since that one market buy very early in the morning for that 400 BTC. It's been kind of flat. So waiting for this, you know, what we're looking for is the spot market to wake up again. So the same as what happened yesterday when it really started to kick off. So we could see in the Asia session, we were selling off spot all day, and then all of a sudden a big spot player picked up, right? And we had that little bit of a rally, and then we just chopped sideways, and then spot kicked in, and we can see here the nice rally on spot, and it starts to lead the perps line, which is the pink line through here, and that's perps buying versus market selling. And we can see that as soon as that spot kicks in, we start to trend up quite aggressively. The spot market starts to sell off again, and we go sideways again for the rest of the day. Then perps, spot, I think actually this one was led a little bit by perps, and then spot kicked in again. And then, you know, we legged up one more time, and now spot market selling once again. And we've just been going sideways. So Interesting to see how that is playing out. And of course, that doesn't include the limit orders as well, guys. So big difference between limit orders and market orders. But, we go a lot deeper into this in our market mastery course if you want to learn more about that. Which actually we did our first episode of last night, which was really awesome to meet all the new students and everything like that. So if you want to join us for the rest of the course, because it will go for the next 3 months, it's $1,100 AUD. I'll leave a link for it below. And yeah, you can sign up and join us for the rest of the course. We've got our next episode tonight with my trading partner, Trader Romps. He's an absolute legend. He's going to cover off some really cool content as well. But let's get stuck into some altcoins. So first, before we do that, the last thing I want to cover off on BTC here is we're coming back into this 30-minute order block. Now, typically what happens is when Bitcoin has that swing high when the Bitcoin has that swing high, while alts are sort of waiting to get out of their positions because Bitcoin is just pumped really hard, BTC has this swing high, and that gives altcoins their chance to go. Altcoins have been sort of struggling to get out. Bitcoin's been taking all of the attention. There has been some like lower cap altcoins and shitcoins pumping really hard, but it's the majors that haven't really moved yet, like INJ, Aave, Solana, Link, and stuff like that. They haven't really moved for this last push since BTC was still in its sideways consolidation all the way back here, still at 37K. So they've got a lot of catching up to do to BTC for that next leg to get started. I think it can happen soon if BTC rounds out and starts to flag here. And every single time Bitcoin has a swing to the upside, so it's these swings here to the upside, and that is usually when altcoins make their move and start to push out of their consolidation flags, right? So we're starting to see that a little bit now here on ADA has started to make its move. So talked about this, in the Discord and other videos. I had a nice breakout of this ascending triangle, consolidation, sign of strength above the top of the triangle and held above that, really nice and clean, and now starting to push away for almost 10% move above the ascending triangle. But this just looks super bullish, like it wants to pump really hard. And probably there's no real key resistance until 45, 46 cents. But I think this has the potential to run all the way up to 60 cents, to be honest. And potentially even higher, but we can look at those levels a little bit later, right? But I think a good target for this one would be around the 60 cent area. I mean, bonk, what an unbelievable move. I can't believe this has just pumped so ridiculously hard. Completely missed all of that, but it's okay. You can't catch every single trade. I had my fair share of good ones. So Tau is sort of very similar to the ADA trade at the moment, whereas you've got that ascending triangle. Just moved out of the ascending triangle a little bit earlier. And as long as it stays above $309, then in my opinion, it's looking really good. This just looks like a breakout ascending triangle, chop sideways, bull flag before it's getting ready to pump one more time, all right? Let's move up the list a little. Sushi still looking really strong. Same thing. Ascending triangle, broke out of ascending triangle, retesting that at the moment. It's actually not in a bad position right now to get a new entry. And then my stop loss would just be below this level here, right? And a safer stop loss would be below this level, right? But that's a pretty big gap. It's what, a 13% gap, which isn't too bad. I usually like to keep, between 5 to 10%, maybe a little bit more than 10% on altcoins, just because they can be so volatile. You don't want to get caught out just in rubbish volatility before it takes off, and it does something like this, takes you out and then go. So that's why I just wouldn't put my stops super tight just below that last level of support there. But this looks like it does want to take off pretty soon and rally to the upside. I should switch charts there, sorry, so you can see my previous drawings. Right, so the level that we're looking at here on Sushi, oops, that was my call all the way back. I think that was like a Twitter post or something like that. But yeah, you can see in this post here I put up in Discord, it's quite difficult to see, but you can see price was down here on this white line, which is at the selling climax, right? Just going to get rid of that, which was at this point down here, pretty much at 0.9. And that was pretty much the prime entry to get in here because Sushi reclaimed the range low and coming back to retest that. and it's had about a 45% push since then. And it looks like it's just starting to get going. I can really see this starting to push from here. If you can, BTC just gives it its chance. And the rest of the larger caps start to move, like Solana and stuff like that. I think this is and ADA as well can really push, and I would expect this to run to range high, probably about $2, to be honest. And then we'll see where the next move is from there. But range high, between $1.88 and $2 would make a lot of sense to me, and then we have to see how it reacts to that range high. Okay. The Casper is being a bit annoying, to be honest. I'm not really loving the look of this right now. I thought it was getting ready to move, but I think I need to readjust the highs here, right? And it's probably just going to form into an ascending triangle, and I think it needs to come back one more time. Just going to change the color of this. I think it needs to come back one more time and maybe retest 0.13 again, and then push from there. But it'll get moving really aggressively, in my opinion, once we break 0.146. And it just looks like ascending triangle. It needs a little bit more time coiling up inside the flag. Okay, FET is another one. Just looks like an ascending triangle. I'm trying really hard to hold on to the support of the triangle here at the moment, though. But this is sort of the same. Once we get a 4-hour close, I think above 0.57. So you'd look for something like this, multiple touches inside the triangle, a breakout of this consolidation here to the upside. This has to break to upside. If it doesn't, then this is probably going to come back down to 0.452. So it's not going to look good. But you need to break the upside of this small consolidation that's in right now, and then flip the range higher. Sort of like what ADA has just done and Sushi has just done. Break the top of the resistance, which is at 0.57, then retest that and then push higher. That's what I would want to see there. Rounder is sort of doing that already. Not really a ascending triangle shape here. It's a bit of a weird one. You could sort of force it if you wanted to. It's broken out early as well and just bounced off that sort of support in there. But this could continue to chop a little bit further before it takes off. Maybe needs to form another sort of triangle pattern there before we push higher. DOT is definitely looking interesting. We had a really nice sweep of the lows here. This just looks like a reaccumulation rally, and it's broken out to new highs already. It did just retest that on this last 4-hour candle and then push again to close up. And that could have been a top setup as well with the potential 4-hour shooting star reversal, and that didn't close back below the range high. So there's a really good sign here. DOT, it could be ready for liftoff right now, to be honest. Sometimes you see that happen before it rallies. So let's see just how bullish this is. Sometimes, they can pump straight from there. Other times it can take a little bit longer and chop sideways. But what I don't want to see is we lose this buying climax level and come back inside the range. That would be bearish. Okay, probably the more important ones now. Solana starting to look really good after dipping back below our buying climax close on the 4-hour. You can see that here coming below that $60. I don't want to see Solana below $60. It's looking like it wants to start to run here, but it's really not clear until it gets above $77 and above that that order block that I've got drawn in here in red, right? So above that, starting to look really good. INJ looking a lot better as well, even though some really weird price action. Similar to DOT, actually, we came back into this order block here, swept the lows with this. This is a typical type of reaccumulation pattern you see sometimes, but in this part of the setup. But this price action here is really bizarre. I don't know what the hell is going on there, to be honest. And there's some ugly price action. But let's see. I think this can get moving. I'm going to say if it can get a clean break above 1850, then there is game on for INJ. Are they chopping around? This looks really ugly to me, so I'm not sure what I want to say about this, to be honest. Putting the double bottom down here, it's almost like a double bottom spring. I'm not too sure on Aave here. Don't really have anything clear on the setup, to be honest. So I'm just going to leave that one. Link, nice sort of sweep of this previous range down the bottom here, middle of November, and just been chopping sideways as well. The level to break here is 1650, and then after that we will see if it can break out. But I think if Solana breaks out, Link probably won't be too far behind. And I'll be looking for about $18, $19 on that. Near has been trading really nicely and it's been leading everything. And of course, it was the one that I've been covering out of all altcoins that I've been covering and actually didn't trade. But it's been pushing really nicely after breaking its clear level here through the middle of the range at $1.09. And it's broken out and pushed really nicely for 22%. So let's see how that ends up playing out. But, you know, it's coming up to a level of resistance here at $2.40, and it could continue to run all the way to $2.76, okay? Illuvium still holding the range high here from our rally earlier in Feb. If that can continue to hold, this just looks like, you know, some sort of a bull flag, maybe a little bit of a falling wedge type thing, but I think it's just a bull flag getting ready to break out and test this 130 level. And then if you can get through the 130 level, then we're off to 188, but I'm not holding my breath for that. Let's see how that plays out. Matic isn't a massive inverse head and shoulders. It needs to clear basically 95 cents to be in the clear for here, but you know, that could take a fair bit longer to build out, but it can also pump up here and break through 95 very quickly as well. So I'm just waiting to see how that plays out. Yeah, no real position for me here on that at the moment. And we'll just have to see if it can make its way up here or if it has more pullbacks and comes back to 0.618 or what it ends up doing. But if it can move up fairly quickly up to, you know, test this 0.9, that could be a really good trade up to $1.35, okay? And that is mainly it. Probably Rose is the last one that I've been covering a fair bit lately. It's swept this high here back from sort of the middle of the range. I kind of feel like it probably should come up and retest the high made in August 22, which is $11 cents. So yeah, let's see how that ends up playing out. It just looks like a breakout and a retest of a clean level from these previous highs back here. So if we can hold this and then get another push higher, the fib target is basically 10 cents. And then, yeah, we're looking for 11 after that would be the next two targets. And then I'm not too sure for Rose after that. It might stay stuck inside this range for a fair bit longer. If it can finally get out of 11 cents, I think it can push all the way up to 20. So that's the main things I'm looking for here at the moment on BTC. Can it oscillate sideways for a little bit and sort of just fill in a bit of space and give altcoins their chance to play catch up? Because BTC has moved pretty aggressively from 37 all the way up to 44. And, you know, a lot of those altcoins are still stuck in their same consolidation range. So they've got a bit of catching up to do. One of the dangers to watch out for here after a big move like this, when alts aren't running and showing a bit of weakness, BTC might just consolidate sideways here, alts finish running, and then BTC ends up rolling over. Lets all the moving averages and everything like that catch up. We have a big flush out of everything, and then it just V-shaped reversals, and then we go on for our last leg. So just be careful of something like that. Don't be in any positions where you can get your entire account liquidated or anything like that, guys. It's way too late to be risking that much right now. We're definitely getting further towards the top of this rally. I think we could end up pushing up to around the 0.618, about 48. We have to see how the next few weeks play out. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you all in the next video.